anything about that stuff? I know it's still in the future, but...
Yeah, my plan is to create, it's basically going to be an hour-long workout divided into 3 parts. 20 minutes of mobility training, working on just getting your joints in range of motion really limber. And then 20 minutes worth of endurance and strength training, mostly body weight, and then a combination of functional weight training and whatnot that is geared towards creating more speed, endurance, and explosiveness that would be better for your fighting technique. We're hoping to have that happening on Saturdays, probably early afternoons. I'd originally hoped to launch it in September, but I kind of stretched myself too thin with a bunch of other projects, and we're now looking at probably more mid-October, even early November. But it is in the works, and we'll keep you all posted as it comes along.
So its focus is conditioning?
It is mobility, conditioning, and agility and speed and power.
So there we go. Okay guys, welcome to the Throwdown. So we're here to step outside of our normal training circles and challenge our sparring a little bit, right? And so here we are, and all these people in this circle are here to take a little bit of a risk with you so that you can work on your fights outside your normal context, right? And you know, we're going to record it, so the recordings are going to be my property. I'll get them up hopefully within a couple of weeks of shooting, although I'll try to get it up next week since I have to travel. And you'll be able to look at that and review your fights. So you should look at this as being a landmark opportunity so that you can kind of say, this worked, that's good, these things didn't work, I should work on it, right? So everybody here has been to the Throwdown before, right? You've bought the Throwdown before, have you? Long time ago. Well, it's been a long time for most of us, right? We've only had a couple back. So, when you want to fight, go fill out this card. Yeah, you're both going to write your name in there. The most important parts, well, it's important to make sure you guys know what you're doing in the fight, right? So make sure that if you say grappling, for example, that you don't just mean stand-up grappling, you know, that it could go to the ground, right? Or, you know, if it's on the ground, like the other person doesn't come in swinging, right? So just make it clear what you're doing, because judo rules are really different than sando rules, etc. So you will look at the intensity. So we're only going to have light and hard fights. You want to go hard? Okay, that's fine, right? There's no medium. So the reason there's no medium is because light fights escalate, right? Medium fights are built to escalate, right? What's medium? It's so subjective, right? It's so subjective. And so I don't want there to be room for argument, right? If you're having a hard fight, it means you're trying to hit the person. However, we're giving quarter. Also, if anyone is having a hard fight tonight, take a look around the room. This room will give you stitches, right? If someone's having a hard fight tonight, the rest of the group is going to be standing around guarding those corners. Yeah? Because, you know, a hard fight in this room is not a totally safe adventure, right? It's a high risk choice if you choose it. Weapons fights are going to be outside, right? So we'll step out there. It'll keep a lot of debris off the mats. For instance, if we're using swords, you don't want the metal shards on the ground, right? And same with the rattan. We'll just keep the rattan out there too. Okay. So light intensity fights, you're basically going for a touch, right? Light contact. Will it sting? Yeah, it can sting, right? What it shouldn't do is it shouldn't knock the person back 3 feet. You know what I mean? Like, you should be able to tap them with the leather of your glove without like landing the weight of your arm and body behind it, right? So that's a light fight. And then I think fight duration, we can do a 2 or 3 minute fight. I personally, because of my current cardio, I haven't got it all back. I'll just be doing 2 minute fights because I want you guys to think about this real carefully. You go for a longer fight, it's after the 2 minute mark that fatigue related injuries tend to happen. right? So keep that in mind. If you choose it, it's more risk, right?
Quick question, what's the most common area for fatigue-related injury?
Knees, ankles, toes, fingers. So the problem is strains, dislocations, stuff like that, like a misstep that translates energy badly through your knee. Those kinds of things are going to happen when you're fatigued and under duress, right? So like you might be thinking like, I'm going to do this move and I'm going to dodge, and you get hit halfway through, and then you try to put weight on your leg and you're not smart enough to just fall down, right? Sometimes it's a better idea to just fall down, guys, right? Because it's in those moments where you can blow a knee, blow an ankle, right? Land badly on the wrist. So, you know, or even just prick your neck, right? I've definitely thrown out my shoulder just striking a backhand. That's all I was doing. I was just trying to do it fast, right? So, yeah, but I was obviously doing too many of them that way, right? So, yeah, good question. So, we're going to referee the fights. Basically, it's this. You're going to make the fight contract, and so the only job really that the ref has is to warn you about risks, right? So if I see you running towards the wall and I'm like, stop, it's because you're running towards the wall, right? If I think that the other person can't tap, I'll stop the fight, right? If I think anything, if I'm not clear on whether or not the person's okay, I'll stop the fight, right? But really, I shouldn't have to, because if you're not sure about whether the guy's okay, you should give them quarter and check on them, right? Especially if you're, you know, the more effective fighter, right? But here's the thing about giving quarter. What should you always do when giving quarter?
Keep your guard up.
Keep your guard up, right? Because invariably, people see that moment of like, are you okay, as an opening. They don't hear your voice. They're just like, an opening, finally, right? And so you guys know what it's like in there now. You've all had a fight or two, so, but that happens. So keep your guard up when you're giving quarter. Maybe, are you okay? Right? It's good practice for the street anyway. Okay, I think that's it. So let's just walk up to the camera. Hey, I'm Sean Zerger, I'm 52, and I agree to the terms of the throwdown.
I'm Joe Whitkin, I'm 37, and I agreed to the terms.
I'm Dave Koulos, I'm 46, I agree to the terms of the throwdown.
I am Fran Bronstein, I'm 50, I agree to the terms of the throwdown.
Hello, I'm John. Throwdown.
Dan Wilkie, 35. I agree to the terms of the throwdown.
Andrew Yang, 31, agreed to the terms of the throwdown.
Victor Nero, 38, I agree to the terms of the throwdown.
Animal Crowswell, 40, agree to the terms of the throwdown.
Okay, guys, just circle up one more time.
Hey, buddy.
Circle up one more time, guys.
Okay.
Just to avoid congestion, there's so few of us anyway, but just to avoid congestion, once you get the fight agreement together, stand in line with the person you're going to have the fight with your, yeah, come on in, come on in.
What have you been?
Daniel, do you agree to the terms of the throwdown?
I agree to the terms of the throwdown.
There we go. What's that?
Are we doing 2 fights inside or
No.
inside and outside?
No, we do one fight inside at a time. We'll do one fight outside at a time, weapons outside.
Okay.
Right? And again, guys, if you hear that there's going to be a hard fight, you're in blocking positions to protect the people from the walls. Right? Don't get yourself hung up. Join the circle.
Blocking one in the middle as well, right? So like corners and maybe the middle as well? Like 6 around?
This one's pretty protected already, but
Because I've seen some people take positions that way, so.
yeah. But I mean, you know, protect that column, protect any of the sharp corners.
Treadmill,
There.
fitness equipment.
You know,
Yeah.
like that weight rack is just looking to take a piece out of someone's skull. right? So, you know, it's important to me to put it plain like that, because if you guys are going to do a video waiver with me and accept these risks, I have to be really clear about what they are, right? And the same thing outside. If someone's going hard outside, right, people should get into positions to make sure they stay off the wall. I have some extra poles over here, so you can like go, you're getting too close, cross-check them back in, right? So, but when you have your contract done, get your gear together and then bring me the card. Don't just come drop off the card and hope that I keep it organized while you guys go and have a conversation, right? Also, let's keep going, right? So when you're done your fight, you've talked it out with the person, go get your next fight going. Let's just keep it rocking and rocking and rocking. One neat thing about having a small group, we'll get a lot of fights in, right? I don't plan to stand there and ref like right in it. I plan to participate with you guys today. So, but if you hear my voice calling the fight, yeah, and anybody else, if you see something, let's keep it to a minimum. Let's see. Joe, if you see anyone else, Dan, if you see anything else that looks spooky, right, then call it out, okay? All right, guys, let's get our gear together and fight someone.